He checked every box. Great job. Treated you like a queen. Said all the right things. But when he did this, everything changed. There's one moment that separates a good guy from a godly husband, and 9 out of 10 women miss it completely. I'm not talking about how he treats you on date night. I'm talking about what he does when nobody's watching. Especially quality number 4, the one that separates a lifetime of peace from decades of regret. Because here's what nobody tells you: your gut feeling, that voice whispering something's off, that's not anxiety. That's God protecting your future. And today, we're decoding exactly what he wants you to see. And by the end, you'll know exactly what to look for. Let's jump right in. Number 1, he genuinely listens. Your ex used to scroll through his phone while you cried, but this man turns his body toward you and pays full attention. You mention your coworker Sarah's drama on Tuesday. Friday night, he asks, "Hey, did Sarah ever apologize?" That's when you know you matter to him. Most guys hear words. Godly men hear your heart. James 1 verse 19 says, "Be quick to listen, slow to speak," because a man who truly listens is practicing Christ-like love before he ever says "I do." You're not just conversation background noise. You're the main event. Number 2, he makes you feel safe. Remember that guy who said he loved you, then used your deepest secrets against you during a fight? This man is different. When your anxiety spikes at 2 a.m., his voice becomes your anchor. When the world feels chaotic, his presence is your calm. You can cry ugly, be messy, admit your worst thoughts, and he doesn't flinch, doesn't judge, doesn't throw it back in your face months later. Ephesians 5 verse 25 commands husbands to love their wives like Christ loved the church, sacrificially, protectively, completely. If he can't guard your heart now, he won't guard it at the altar. Number 3, he supports your dreams. Here's the test most men fail: you get a promotion. Do his eyes light up, or does he go quiet? The wrong guy makes subtle digs. You're working late again? Must be nice to focus on your career. Don't forget about us. A godly man brags about you. He tells his boys, "Yo, my girl just closed that deal." He pushes you toward your calling, even when it's inconvenient for him. Because here's the thing, insecure men need you small. Godly men want you unstoppable. Ecclesiastes 4 verse 9, 2 are better than 1. He doesn't see you as competition. He sees you as the teammate that makes him better. Your win is his win. Period. Number 4, he apologizes sincerely. This is it. The quality that separates decades of happiness from a slow, painful unraveling. Picture this: he snaps at you, says something cruel. You feel it in your chest like a punch. The room goes quiet, and everything hangs on what he does next. Here's what separates the boys from the men. The wrong guy says, "You're too sensitive. I was just joking." "Well, you made me feel bad." A godly man stops, looks you in the eyes and say, "I was wrong. I hurt you. I'm sorry. How do I make this right?" And then, here's the secret part most women miss: he actually changes. Not just words. Action. You never see that behavior again. Because Proverbs 28 verse 13 warns us, "Whoever conceals their sins does not prosper." A man who can't apologize will poison your marriage drop by drop, year by year. His pride or your peace. He can't have both. And the right man will choose you every single time. Number 5, he respects your sexual boundaries. This one's uncomfortable, but we need to talk about it. Here's a truth that'll save you years of heartache. How he handles sexual temptation now reveals how he'll handle it in marriage. If he's pressuring you for sex before marriage, making you feel guilty for wanting to wait, making you feel less than, saying things like, "If you really loved me you would do it," or "We're getting married anyway so why not," that's not love. That's manipulation. And here's the scariest part: if he can't control himself when you're dating, what makes you think he'll stay faithful when you're married? A godly man who believes in sexual purity isn't just protecting your body, he's protecting your future. He's saying, "I want you, but I want God's blessing on us more." Hebrews 13 verse 4 says, "Marriage should be honored by all, and the marriage bed kept pure, for God will judge the adulterer and all the sexually immoral." If he respects God's design for sex now, he'll respect your marriage bed later. But if he's willing to pressure you to compromise your conviction today, he's showing you exactly who he'll be when temptation knocks on your marriage door tomorrow. His self-control before marriage is a preview of his faithfulness during marriage. Studies show that couples who wait have 20% higher relationship satisfaction. Why? Because delayed gratification builds trust. Number 6, he handles conflict maturely. Most divorces don't happen because couples fight. They happen because of how they fight. You've seen this guy give you silent treatment over nothing, doesn't call you for days, and brings up that thing you did 2 years ago, calls you crazy, makes you feel small. Now picture this. You're in a heated argument. He's frustrated. You're frustrated. But he stops, takes a breath, and says, I don't want to hurt you. Can we start over? Think about this. Matthew 18 verse 15 gives us the blueprint. Address issues directly, respectfully, and privately. A godly man doesn't fight to win. He fights to understand. You're not looking for someone who never gets angry. You're looking for someone who stays kind even when he is. Number 7. He celebrates your wins genuinely. Here's an ugly truth. Some men only love you when you're beneath them. Imagine you get the promotion, the acceptance letter, the recognition you've been working toward for years. Watch his face. Does it fall? Does he change the subject? Does he say that's great, babe, with dead eyes while scrolling his phone? Worse, does he suddenly pick a fight that night? Remind you of your flaws? Make a joke that stings? Now compare that with a godly man. His face explodes with pride. He's texting his mom, posting about you, telling the waiter, we're celebrating, my girl just crushed it. Romans 12 verse 15 teaches us to rejoice with those who rejoice. If he can't celebrate you, he doesn't truly love you. He loves the version of you that makes him feel bigger. You deserve a man who's not intimidated by your light. You deserve someone who hands you the spotlight. Number 8. He values your opinion. You know what's disgusting? A man who treats you like a pretty accessory with no brain. He makes major decisions, changes jobs, moves cities, buys a car, and tells you after, like you're just along for the ride. In contrast, a godly man hears from you before he takes any major decision. Before he takes that job offer, he's asking, what do you think? How does this affect us? Not because he's weak, because he's wise. Proverbs 15 verse 22 warns us, plans fail without counsel, but with many advisors they succeed. He knows your perspective makes him smarter, sharper, and better. You're not his sidekick. You're his strategist, his partner, his equal. Number 9. He includes you in his life. If you feel like his secret instead of his priority, trust that feeling. 6 months in, and you still haven't met his friends? That's not him being private. That's a red flag wrapped in excuses. He talks about his future, his plans, his family events, and you're always on the outside looking in. Now let's flip the script. The right man already told his mom about you. His boys know your name. When he says we, he means it. You're not a secret. You're not an option. You're woven into the fabric of his life. Genesis 2 verse 24 says, a man leaves his family and holds fast to his wife, they become one. If he's keeping you hidden now, what makes you think marriage will change that? Number 10. He treats service staff and strangers with respect. You've probably heard this before, watch how he treats the waiter. But here's what most women miss. It's not just waiters. It's the slow driver in front of him, the customer service rep on the phone, the homeless man asking for change. Does he snap? Does he mock? Does he act like people beneath his tax bracket are invisible? Because here's what I need you to understand, that patient, charming man you're dating, he's on his best behavior. The man he is to strangers? That's who you'll get in 10 years. When you're tired, when you're sick, when you've had 3 kids and haven't slept, his kindness needs to be automatic, not performed. Luke 6 verse 31 reminds us, do to others as you would have them do to you. A godly man doesn't turn Christ's love on and off depending on who's watching. But here's where it gets real. Remember that gut feeling we talked about at the beginning? That whisper in your spirit? You're not being picky. You're not asking for too much. You're listening to God protect you from settling. Every bad situationship you walked away from? That wasn't time wasted. That was you getting closer to recognizing the real one. So here's what I want you to do. Screenshot these 10 qualities. Keep them somewhere you'll see them. And the next time a man shows up talking smooth but living sideways, you'll know. You don't need to force it. You don't need to fix him. You don't need to ignore red flags and pray about it. God's design for marriage isn't you sacrificing your peace for potential. It's 2 people walking in the same direction, toward him, together. The right man is not perfect, but he's pursuing God, and that changes everything. Which quality hit you hardest? Drop the number in the comments. The right man, at the right time, in God's perfect plan is not a fairy tale. He's a man who does the work. And sis, you'll know him when you see him.